and I'm a little under the weather. You know, I woke up this morning. Actually, it was last night. I was about to go to bed, and I just had this throbbing headache, and it was like traveling in like the left sinus of my nose, and I was like, man, something tells me I'm not gonna feel good in the next morning. And lo and behold, I didn't. So I'm like constantly blowing my nose, sneezing. Doesn't sound like I'm really sick, but I don't know. Maybe it's like one of those, 1 day things. But I seem to be getting better. But better with this beard. Beard life. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you guys are having a good Saturday, good week. And yeah, it's already been 73 days growing this 3-year beard. And I'm still using the Live Bearded brand. I'm using all the pretty much the beard oil, the beard butter, the beard conditioner, the beard shampoo. I'm not using the shampoo as much because, I feel like wetting it throughout the week and then putting some conditioner in and then some beard oil, pretty much does the trick. It's been pretty good lately. I don't think I've seen any like hairs that are being pulled, so that's a good thing. Aside from like the dust and the cat hair back here, because I do have some cats, one little cat in particular. I don't want to bring her over because she's already like sleeping. She's kind of like, hanging out over there in the little pillow. She loves that pillow. But yeah, it's been fun. Oh, excuse me, lately. So, yep, it's getting longer. 73 days. Yeah. And of course, what would be a good Saturday of a 3-year beard live than a legendary beard of today? So today's legendary beard is Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy. He's a Russian philosopher, and I think in Russian it's pronounced Lev Tolstoy. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I do have a little bit of Russian ancestry in me, so not that much. I do have a little bit of a Balkan slash Irish slash German slash English slash. I'm like 99.7% European, so I don't know if it shows, but hey. I also have French in me too. I think 17%. You ever did that one spit in a jar and then see your DNA to see your ancestry? Well, I did that. I think it's called 23andMe. And coincidentally, 23andMe went into a lawsuit or something like a year or two ago. I don't know. I don't really care about that because it's not like anyone's like selling my DNA overseas or like, it's not that big of a deal. But Leo Tolstoy is the legendary beard of today. He's one of the most famous philosopher beards in history. I mean, look at that beard. That's a nice filled up beard. His beard symbolizes wisdom and humility later in life. So, assuming that he, started using that beard later in his life to, formulate what he, was in that picture. He's also known for massive long-term works like War and Peace. Very literary giant with iconic beards, rivaling, people like Whitman and Leonardo, the other legendary beards that I have previously have shown. So yeah, 3 strong facts about Tolstoy is Tolstoy wrote War and Peace, one of the longest and most influential novels ever. So that's pretty cool. I don't even know if I could write a book. Can you? I can't. I mean, maybe if I tried, but that's not my focus. But good on you for, writing War and Peace. Don't know what the, book is about, but hey, if you guys want to check it out, his book, War and Peace, can be picked up in your local Barnes and Noble. Maybe. You probably might have to see it, find it online. But later in life, he rejected wealth and lived simply, focusing on philosophy and spirituality. there's kind of like a theme going on where like when you get older, you kind of just like get rid of all the things that kind of the glitz and glamour of life. You kind of reject a lot of that kind of stuff because then when you get older, like me, I mean, I'm not that old. I look old. In fact, one of the I was working today in one of the clinics, and one of the roommates, these patients share a room with two people. So one of their roommates looked at me as I was walking in to do that patient, and he's like, "Man, you look old." I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of do. Yeah, because of my beard. It's like, man, you got some grays in your beard." Like, yeah, of course, I look young. I mean, if I shaved, obviously I'd look like, a boy. Yeah, I'd look pretty young, maybe like in my 30s or something, but I don't know. You guys, tell me if I'm right or not. But yeah, moving on with Leo Tolstoy. His long beard became a visual symbol of the wiser elder archetype. Pretty cool. And then a perfect tie-in for this legendary beard. Some things only come with time, wisdom, and beards. Pretty cool, huh? Well, you know, I don't know that many philosophers, especially Tolstoy, but I'm pretty sure some of you have because there's a lot of philosophers in history, and again, for some reason, there's always seems to be a theme where most philosophers can grow beards, and they usually do. But I don't know. What do you think? Is there like a philosopher I haven't covered yet that has an even better beard, or maybe someone? Because you guys can like tell me if you want to include one of the legendary beards. It can even be a fictional. It can be a modern person. It can be anyone. So I am always open to receive new bits of suggestions for legendary beards. So please let me know. But yeah, the legendary Leo Tolstoy, thank you so much for your contribution with your philosophy and with your wide wisdom. And yeah, I always like to thank these legendary beards, these people of iconic stature, because I mean, come on, like these guys live almost infamously. They just live forever. These people who have beards, they just live on in infamy. It's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to live on in infamy, but, I'll probably be, maybe remembered a little bit, but not that much. Who knows? I don't really care about that kind of stuff. What I do care about is, educating and inspiring and letting people know that, hey, you can do exactly what I do. Your beard might not look exactly like mine, but hey, you can grow a beard just like anyone else, including me. And it's already been 73 days, 73 days of growing this 3-year beard. So I'm pretty excited. I'm trying to keep it nice and maintained. I'll be doing another few more videos like this is what it looks like fluffing up my beard, or let's go clean my beard, or if you guys have any other suggestions, I'm more than welcome to receive any suggestions that you guys have. So again, this is not just about me. This is about all of you guys. This is about whoever wants to watch, whoever wants to comment, and whoever wants to be inspired by growing beards. I'm here for that, and I'm here for you guys. So yeah, let me go ahead and head into the comments because I saw a few people commenting. ADH, how you doing? I don't know what kind of symbol is that. Is that like Cantonese, or I don't know. That looks like a little A, like right beside another what looks like a Cantonese type of symbol. Anywho's, what's up? Michelle, how you doing? Oh, there's another the same symbol on that. I don't know what that is. What is that? Um, I'm doing okay. I woke up this morning and I was feeling a little bit like, oh my God, like I don't know if I can get to work but I had a cup of coffee and I kind of powered through it, and now I'm feeling fine after another nap or two. But I feel a lot better, compared to when I went to bed and then woke up this morning. So Um, I am so cool. Well, I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know if I'm that cool. I'm just me, you know. If that makes me cool, then yeah, I'm cool. You're cool too, probably. I don't, I'm pretty sure. Especially someone who can say that you're cool, usually is a person is pretty cool too. So, cool. Toast Story. Oh yeah. Film. How you doing? Uh, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? It's been quite a few weeks since you went into the chat. So I'm glad to see you there. Hope you're having a good Saturday. I'm having a better Saturday, and yeah, Dana. Okay, I don't know what this symbol is. It's that again that small little A with whatever that other symbol next to it is. Like, please let me know. I don't know what that is, but you guys seem to have a lot more knowledge about using the symbol than I do. But uh, Dana, how you doing? Uh, put myself in a box, little kitty. So yeah, but you guys, I appreciate you guys coming into the comments and saying hi. It means the world to me that you guys, even join, because I don't prepare a lot for this. I just kind of look up who is going to be the legendary beard, and then I just talk about my day, and I talk about trying to be inspiring and motivating. And speaking of motivation, I haven't done a lot today. I just have, just did my job, did my work, and then I took a nap, and then, I'm just enjoying the Saturday. So I guess it's like a lazy Saturday. That's okay. We all can have lazy Saturdays, lazy Sundays. There's a song apparently on the Sundays because that's my day of rest. Hey, I'm all for it. But at least try to motivate yourself to do something, to get yourself moving, because not only is that good for your muscles, but that's also good for your brain. That's might be good for your beard too, if you kind of keep moving around and, you know, get inspired to do things. So, but thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate it. Um, but hopefully you guys are having a good weekend and you're gonna have a great Saturday night. It's still time to have some fun tonight. Tonight there's this new video game, this co-op game, this zombie game that me and my sister are gonna play online, and I'm really excited about it. I forgot what it's called, but man, my sister like showed it to me, sent me a message like a month ago. It said, "Hey, you want to play this? This comes out like on the 13th, so it's the 14th today." I'm excited because it looks like it's one of those survival third person shooter, games where you're just like plowing through a bunch of like, horde of zombies. I'm really excited about it. I love zombie video games, if you guys didn't know. I like a lot of video games that are fun, but that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. I also have to go to the grocery store and get some like groceries and get some items because I think we're running a little bit low. So I think I'll have some time to do that. My wife made some crock pot chicken soup stew, which is pretty cool. I love crock pot stuff because you just throw it in one pot, let it cook all day, and then bam, woo, nice and fork tender. I love food, by the way. Look at this. This is one of my lovely vices of food. I'm pretty sure you guys already have that vice. You live to eat, not eat to live, right? I can't grow my beard. I'm sorry. Well, that's okay, Kevin. Again, beards aren't always, everything. This is just a beard channel that I just like to kind of throw in beards and stuff. And, but I get it. Like, and one thing, actually, like I was talking to my wife about this, and this is what I didn't realize at all. Something called terminal length. The hair on top of our head, on top of our, on our face, on our, maybe it depends on, who you are, but we all, apparently humans, all have this thing called terminal length. So if you let your hair just grow and grow and grow, depending on who you are, what genetics you have, and maybe just like the style of, hair, it determines on how long it's going to grow. And depending on how long it grows, it'll stop at one particular point in time. And I thought that was really interesting. At first, I didn't even believe her. I was like, what are you talking about, this terminal length? Like, hey, my beard's going to grow on forever, like this guy in the background right here. But apparently, sorry, I just kicked the kicked the phone. Anyways, but yeah, I didn't know about that. So I had to look it up on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT owned me and said, no, technically your wife is right. And I'm like, well, that's pretty interesting. So that means that if you don't touch your hair, your follicles have this time clock on it where if it's not trimmed or, touched, it'll continue just to grow and grow and grow until it stops. And then it'll stop at one point. Some people stop at certain points. Other guys, they just, can like, because I remember working in Los Angeles at one point in 2011, I think. And I was working at a after school daycare center. And this father comes walking in to pick up his kid, and he's got like, I mean, it was like the longest beard I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen this before. This is like, it was so long, it went down to his feet. And this guy must have been like maybe 6 feet, 6'2", just like all the way down to his feet. And he just comes walking in with this long, long beard. I'm like, whoa, I hope my beard can be like that, but maybe not. Who knows? Maybe my terminal length will stop at my belly button, or maybe my chest, or I don't know. I've never tested that out. I only grew my beard for a year. So when I grew my beard for a year, it was probably like maybe down to here or so. Like, yeah, like right here. So I don't know. Like, I don't know when my beard is going to stop growing. And that's just kind of like more interesting. It's more interesting that you don't know when your beard's going to stop growing at terminal length, because this is just like a new discovery for me. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait. I can't wait to find out, oh my gosh, my beard only, stops at my belly button. Okay, well, I guess I got to just work with this thing. But hey, for people who, can't grow their beard, and that's fine. You can grow your hair, and then you'll find out your terminal length there. That's how I began to talk about that terminal length, is because my wife was saying my hair, my head hair only, gets down to, here or something, and it stops. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You can just keep growing your beard or keep growing your hair. But no, I was dead wrong. So, hey, you learn a little bit something new every single day, and you got to just understand it, because ChatGPT knows everything, right? Maybe not everything, but, relatively everything. Um, you're half Norwegian, half Colombian, so you're not sure on your genetics, but hey, it's okay. That sounds like a cool mix, Norwegian and Colombian. That's like good food right there. Hey, there's a silver lining to that. um, wow, didn't he trip with that kind of beard? No, he didn't. He didn't. He was just like, he just comes in. He looked like he was kind of like a little, as I remember, he was a little lethargic. Like, he was just kind of like, hey, how's it going? Like, and of course, like, how are you gonna go out into public with a long beard like that and, have so much confidence? I'm pretty sure he's just maybe one of those techie guys where he could just stay in the house all day long, not worry about like what other people think, because Hollywood is, if you ever been there, if you ever lived there, Hollywood is definitely a place where they judge you visually. You are judged visually. And I mean, for me, I didn't really care, but because I used to go help out with bartending and bar backing, and I ended up doing a few of these celebrity events where it was the SAG Awards, the after parties and stuff. So I saw a little bit of celebrities, as I was, in that environment. But yeah, I mean, at that time I had a really nice mustache. I didn't have my beard. I just had that bartender's mustache. I curled it up. It looked pretty cool. So I think I remember at one point, Tobey Maguire I see Toby Maguire just walking by, and he's like just like kind of like giving giving me like the wide eye stare, like, and then he just darts somewhere else where I was like, ah, Toby, you see me, Toby. I also saw Snoop Dogg. He was, in the back of the kitchen, like, smoking, and he was talking to the chef, like, hey, Mr. Campbell's, Mr. Chef Boyardee, what's for dinner? And, he's just trying to be all funny. And, um, oh, thank you, Monk. Monkey Punch. That's a fun name. Thank you. I just enjoy beards, and I've just been blessed, with the European genes that I'm mixed in with, as well as my mom's genes, and that's why my beard is somewhat almost completely white, because my mom had like she had white hair, almost like a full head of white hair when she was in her mid 20s, and I'm like 41 or 42 or something. I can't. I think I'm 42, but sometimes I don't worry about my age because I just know that I'm like within this range of age, but I'm just not really, I don't really care about my birthdays and stuff. So I don't focus on any of that. But you went to Hollywood last year, first time to the US, and wow, the subway was kind of harsh. Yeah, it is. It is. I wouldn't suggest going on the subway. I would suggest maybe going on the transit like a bus. Even then, like there's some weird people. A funny story about that. I commuted to this one job, and I was a barista at the time. So I became, because of my bar backing experience, I could do this job as a barista at this one big building. It was like a Starbucks inside of it, and they just needed some help. So I would commute over there all the way from West Hollywood over. It must have been like maybe like 5, 6, 10 miles, but I had to take the bus. It was like the subway. And I remember when I was coming back, it was at the end of the day. This dude, he comes in, and he's like, you could tell he's like cracked out of his mind. He was just like drugged up, and he was just kind of keeping to himself. But what he was doing is he was looking around, and he was like hanging off of the pipes. And what he did that surprised me to still to this day is, I don't know if you guys know that, like, that emergency thing where like the area where you can like pull it, and then I don't know what happens, like the door opens or something. Well, in that emergency thing piece, there's like a little bit of a plastic film that was covering it. He takes that plastic piece and he holds it, and then he puts it in his mouth and he starts chewing it. I'm like, what the? This is crazy. So yeah, after that, I just did not want to go into the subway at all anymore, because man, you get some crazy people in the subway. It doesn't even matter if it's Hollywood or not. It's like subways are usually in that same category. People are just going down, doing drugs, getting all like weirded out and stuff. But Toby activated. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to read. Um, Guy with the longest beard broke his neck. I remember that. Yeah, he trying to run from the fire. Ooh, I didn't know about that, but yeah, I knew about like the longest recorded record of the guy who grew his beard. Yeah, he unfortunately tripped on his. He tripped and broke his neck. But he was like really old at the time, so it would have been anything. Usually, when you get to very old geriatric age, I mean, a fall can be fatal. Is I've worked in the hospital for so many years that that's kind of like one of the known facts, is like the older you get, the falls become worse. But Toby activated his spidey sense with you. Beard alert. Well, I didn't have my beard. I did have my mustache, so it was like kind of like this. It was almost the same length as this, but a little bit more. Like I would probably say like maybe another week or two of growth, and then because I needed to look like a bartender. I was mixing drinks. I was, hauling product upstairs, downstairs. And at the end of the night, they thought that I was really good. I did see Leonardo DiCaprio, though. And Leonardo DiCaprio had this weird request. I didn't see it, but he had this weird request where he was asking for, what was it? It was a raw egg. He was asking for a raw egg, and we didn't have a raw egg, so we were like, sorry, and he's like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. But coincidentally, you can actually use the egg whites to thicken up your drinks. So it's not too far fetched to ask a bartender, "Hey, you got any raw eggs?" So I think he just wanted to just down a raw egg. Apparently, like that one movie, like the that one. Oh man, I'm not I'm drawing a blank. Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's so many movies on Rocky, but I wanted to go Griffin Center, but yeah, the Griffin Center is okay. It's like this observatory where it's really up high in the foothills of LA, and it's nice. And there's a nice park nearby. They do like Shakespeare in the Park or something. I've seen a few of those. It was fun, but I mean, if you didn't get to see it, you're probably not missing too much, right? Um, but barista. That's amazing. I would love to be a barista. Well, there are some like, pluses and minuses of being a barista. You don't get paid that much depending on where you work. Starbucks, they don't pay you a lot, and especially they didn't pay me a lot. But I did such a good job that the back kitchen was asking me, "Hey, can you do something else?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I started cutting up fruit, and that was like just for a day and stuff. But I could tell that, I was doing such a nice job that they were trying to include me in like other things. So if I wasn't kept busy, then yeah, they would probably be like, clock out and you're done. But yeah, I guess they liked me enough so that they were trying to include me in most things, including the kitchen. Hey, you good at making Starbucks coffee? Why don't you get in the kitchen and cut up some but yeah, anywho, it was fun. I actually knew Shelley Duvall. Oh, cool. Lady from The Shining. She lived in my house. Oh, lived in the house? Really? Also met Leonardo DiCaprio. They filmed a movie scene in my town courthouse. Oh, nice. That's awesome. He's a nice guy. He keeps to himself, and he's just like very focused on his craft, which you got to respect. A lot of these people who live in Hollywood, they're not all bad. They're just kind of like, hey, I'm hyper focused. I need to make work. I need to, get things done. And by getting things done, sometimes you have to kind of like, remove a lot of the clutter and a lot of the noise. A lot of people, they see you as like this asset, and they want you to just include them in your stuff, which is, it's great if you have that relationship, but man, you get a lot more people asking for favors than your friends asking for favors. So I can imagine that, just being in Hollywood, it's really hard to be uh, making sure that you're getting people to just kind of do everything for you. It's like it's not a fun environment in my case. That's why I kind of moved after, like, I think 2013. Moved back to Vegas, and now I still live in Vegas. It's a nice life, but I wish I was, I wish I had another job, because I do a lot of mobile work, so I have to use my personal vehicle to drive uptown, on the side of town. Like, it's like almost 100 miles a day, so and I don't get reimbursed a lot. I get reimbursed with gas and everything, so it's like, you got to keep the realism there. It's like, well, if my company doesn't want to reimburse me for my batteries, for the tires that I have to replace, for the oil changes, then essentially I'm kind of losing money. It's becoming a net negative. But when Shelley died, she was in the news for a month or two. Yeah, yeah. And it's unfortunate because some celebrities, they don't have enough spotlight when they pass away. Sometimes they'll just get like a blurb, hey, this celebrity passed away, and then no one really remembers. But some of the people that really touch people's hearts, touch people in the not really touch people, but like, but inspired people in a sense of their craft, kind of gave them that inspiration. People will remember, exactly like Leo Tolstoy. People definitely remember Leo Tolstoy to this day, and that was like a long time ago. Um, in my townhome, we didn't even get her in the news. Yeah, well, some people. It really depends. Like, the algorithm. I'm pretty sure the algorithm wasn't, covering it in that city, or in that area. Um, yeah, and you shouldn't blame, because uh, after going through so many things, like, people are people. People are just trying to exist. People are trying to do as much as they can, just by, especially if you have a family, you're trying to pass on lineage to your children, their grandchildren. You want to have, like, set up a good life for your family lineage. So, I mean, hey, I can't really criticize, what people do and how they do with things, but she lived in B, Texas. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know that. uh, and you live in Spain, Europe? Okay. I've never been to Spain, but I always, dream about going to Spain and enjoying their tapas, their little, foods and stuff. I love food. I'm a foodie. I watched Food Network. I watched Alton Brown. I watched all these different celebrity chefs that, just, I learned a lot from them. And that was like when I was around, after college. I didn't know what to do, so I was like just watching a bunch of Food Network shows. So I think that's how I kind of became a little bit better at cooking. So, you know, I enjoy the cultural food, even with Russian food. There's a Russian food called pierogies. Pierogies are these little bread like puff pastries with like stuff in the middle, like, and it's usually like beef and some vegetables and stuff. But yeah, pierogies. Oh, also cheese pierogies. No, pierogies. Sorry, what am I saying? Pierogies. I mixed up his toshki to pierogi. Okay, you know what? It's already been 30 minutes, so my brain is already getting wrapped and warped and stuff. The documentary on her is sad. Oh yeah, I can imagine. Like Holly. That's I think that's why they call it Holly Weird, because whatever happens to celebrities, especially like child celebrities, child actors, they go through a brunt of like problems when they get older. But it's not Spain. There's a great show about Italy with Stanley Tucci. I don't know who that is. Pierogies, yes, those are awesome. I like them. Pierogies, I actually pronounced it right. So she blamed us for stealing her from her. We didn't know, by the way, but she went, yeah. You know, I don't know if there was like any relation to like doing those Stanley Kubrick movies. Or was it the Stanley Kubrick with The Shining? I think so. I still am not that great of topics and stuff, so I might mention something, blurb something, but then like mix it up with something. I don't even know if I'm undiagnosed dyslexia. Who knows? Maybe I am. But regardless of that, you guys, I mean, thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate. This is probably about the better day for people joining in the chat, so I'm really having fun with this. um oh, didn't, by the way. Okay, gotcha. All right, well, guys, I gotta get going because I also have to do some yard work as well. I'm trying to keep myself motivated even though it's the weekend. I was being lazy after work, but I think I'm gonna get right back into it. But I will leave you guys with this, with this bearded legend, Leo Tolstoy. And then I will see you tomorrow for another video, and I will see you next Saturday for another live. You guys have a great weekend. See you next time.